This video is titled Orange Mound in Kisumu, Kenya. Partner up. This is Anthony of Elmore. I'm here with my great guys from Kenya. I got Richard Kuto, is that right?
Yes.
And Gray Asava. From here, they both from Kenya. We are promoting a program called the Safari Initiative. Safari means Style, African, Family, Application, Renaissance Initiative. And what the Safari Initiative about is we are promoting the legacy of the great Tom Mboya. You know, Tom Mboya first came to America on August the 15th, 1956 at 26 years old, and he was friends with Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, we celebrate Dr. King's 50th here in Memphis. And what we're doing, we're bringing the legacy of Tom Mboya together with that of Dr. Martin Luther King. And because they were friends, we have a legacy, we have a history. You guys have saw some things about the Safari Initiative. So we're going to close out. We're going to put this thing together. You guys are going to arrange for me to go to Kenya. We took Kenya's first maiden direct flight from JFK Airport in New York to Jomo Kenyatta Airport, where we met Kenya's Airways President, Sebastian Mikos. On our direct flight from JFK to Jomo Kenyatta Airport was America's ambassador to Kenya, Robert Godak.
Starting with your name, I believe that you are a co-founder, and of course telling us what you say about the Safari initiatives.
Well, my name is Agri Asava. I reside in Indiana in the US. Tom really is the one that has put in most of this work. Oh. We're just in to help him, you know, catch it so that we can get it to Kenya and push it to the level that we want it to be. And this is the day that we want things to start happening today.
My name is Richard Kipto.
Okay.
You know, I was inspired by Anthony because, you know, I was interested about, you know, doing something positive culturally about Kenya. And I came across Anthony Elmore. So I became so interested, and I looked for his contacts. I called him, we talked, and you know, he shared the vision. And man, I just said, this is what we need in Kenya.
This is Anthony Elmore. I am in Nairobi, Kenya, in the ambassador's office of the Honorable Tom Omolo, and I'm just showing my visitor's pass. I am in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you see now I'm an official visitor in Kenya. This is Anthony Elmore. I am in Nairobi, Kenya at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the Honorable Tom Omolo. Listen, Minister, we're so glad that you saw us. We are honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. This is the 50th anniversary, and we're here in Kenya. And Ambassador, we thank you so much for seeing us.
Thank you very much on behalf of the people of Kenya, the government of the people of Kenya, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We want to embrace the African American peoples in the United States and Africans in diaspora, and in the 50th anniversary of Tom Mboya's passing, we're going to embrace this important initiative that Elmore and my relatives have brought to us. We're going to work closer together and make sure it comes to fruition. Thank you very much. Asanteni san.
1957, until his death, Dr. Martin Luther King was a member of a CORE, or the American Committee on Africa. In 1956, a CORE brought a 26-year-old Kenyan to America by the name of Tom Mboya. Tom Mboya changed the way many thought of Africa. He was young, well-dressed, handsome, articulate, quick-thinking, and a dynamic young African. He spoke at many black colleges and liberal colleges in America, and he asked colleges to give scholarships to African students. Former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt introduced him to singer Harry Belafonte and baseball great Jackie Robinson. By 1959, he had acquired so many scholarships for Kenyan students that they needed to charter a flight to America. Harry Belafonte, Jackie Robinson, and actor Sidney Poitier lent their names on a letter asking Americans to give money to pay for the charter flight. They gave $1, $2, $3, what they had. The program was called I Left America, whereas a 23-year-old Kenyan came to school in Hawaii by the name of Barack Obama Sr. Tom and Boyer made the cover of both Jet and Time magazine in 1959. Tom and Boyer not only marched with Dr. King in 1959, he spoke at a Dr. King rally, and on May 13th of 1959, Dr. King and the SCLC gave Tom and Boyer an African Freedom Dinner. In fact, the I Left America program was so popular that in 1960, presidential candidate John F. Kennedy and the Kennedy Foundation supported I Left America. The John F. Kennedy Museum says that I Left America became an election issue that contributed to the narrow victory of Kennedy in 1960. Because of Tom and Boyer, we got President Obama. We also got President Kennedy. It was Thurgood Marshall who wrote Kenya's Constitution. African Americans supported the birth of Kenya in 1963. M. Boyer, like John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and Dr. King, died of an assassin's bullet 50 years ago in 1969. On October 30th through November 1st, Kenyan dignitaries come to Memphis to honor the legacies of Dr. Martin Luther King and Tom and Boyer via joining with Americans via family, culture, trade, economics, history, religion, education, and relationships. Kenyan dignitaries made their first stop in Memphis in Orange Mound, the first neighborhood built for blacks by blacks in America. They visited the home of Anthony Amp Elmore, the first all-African home in America. Elmore explained that African Americans spend in excess of $600 million a year on home furnishing. Elmore wants to partner with Kenya to produce home furnishings for the American market. Elmore treated the dignitaries to authentic African food. At 10:30, the group took the VIP FedEx tour. 31st, history repeated itself. Whereas in 1959, Tom and Boyer started I Left America via asking college presidents to give African students scholarships, Elmore College president Dr. Carol Johnson not only welcomed the African dignitaries with scholarships, the African students at Elmore College and the president introduced an exchange and cultural educational program for Kenya, where Dr. Martin Luther King made his last speech. After going to Mason Temple, the group celebrated at the Kukatana African American Museum, owned by community activist Dr. Katnita Atwater. The group was astounded to find the Kenyan flag and the place eloquently decorated in the Kenyan colors of their flag, red, black, and green, where they met Congressman Steve Cohen. The group meeting with Memphis Congressman Steve Cohen was perhaps the most significant part of the meeting. For the time he got elected to Congress in November 2006, 90 days later, Congressman Steve Cohen was at Anthony Elmore's house for the first Black History Month African dinner. Congressman Cohen in Memphis was the first to acknowledge Tom and Boyer's 60th. Listen to what Congressman Cohen said at Tom and Boyer's 60th.
While we're here at AMP Elmore, AMP has done so much to try to help promote Memphis and international trade with Africa, with Kenya in particular. We've worked with him and will continue to work with him with ambassadors and embassies in Washington, trying to promote trade. It's a logical thing to do, and it's imperative that we have Memphis in the forefront to try to take this as an opportunity to promote Memphis and Africa, and that's what AMP can do.
We have our United States Congressman prepared to visit Kenya. Elmore asked Congressman Cohen to use his influence to ensure that the pioneers like Thurgood Marshall, who wrote Kenya's first constitution, Harry Belafonte, Jackie Robinson, Sidney Poitier, Eleanor Roosevelt, A. Philip Randolph, President John F. Kennedy, and all the Americans who supported the birth of Kenya be properly honored. The partnership between Orange Mound and Kisumu, Kenya represents a groundbreaking initiative that transcends local boundaries, elevating Orange Mound from a historic African American community in Memphis to an internationally recognized hub of African cultural diplomacy. Anthony F. Elmore's vision is to highlight Orange Mound as the birthplace of this cultural exchange, a legacy that begins with his 1988 film, The Contemporary Gladiator. See, this film, legacy, begins in 1988, The Contemporary Gladiator. This film notably being the first independent 35mm theatrical film in Memphis and the first kickboxing film in world film history, premiered in Nairobi, Kenya in 1990. This event marked the first African business agreement with an African American, a significant yet often overlooked chapter in Memphis history. You see, Kisumu, Kenya acknowledges the rich history, recognizing Orange Mound as the birthplace of African cultural diplomacy. See, this recognition is rooted in the historical ties between Kenya and the American Civil Rights Movement, particularly through the influence of Tom Warrior, a pivotal figure in shaping American culture. The partnership between Orange Mound and Kisumu will be formalized through a sister city arrangement, elevating Orange Mound to an international status and fostering deeper cultural historical connections. You see, Anthony F. Elmore has arranged with Kisumu Governor Peter Anyango to host the Tom and Warriors 70th and the first African American family reunion in Africa in Kisumu, Kenya. This event will not only celebrate the legacy of Tom and Warrior, but also mark the official recognition of Anthony Elmore Sr. and Anthony Elmore Jr. as African culture ambassadors. See, this partnership will also see the early scenes of Elmore's film Rock and Roll, A Black Legacy, where Elmore will shoot his early scenes in Kisumu, Kenya, further cementing the cultural ties between the two communities. In addition, Elmore is inviting Governor Nango and other African dignitaries, including Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o, to Orange Mound. This visit will introduce traditional Kenyan cuisine to America, with Elmore preparing the food in the traditional way, using bare hands eating. See, the focal point of this cultural diplomacy will be historic meeting at Mason Temple in Memphis, where the legacies of Tom and Warrior and Dr. King will be honored. This event aims to raise an awareness of an appreciation. You see, this partnership also includes the establishment of the Steve Cohen Center of African Cultural Diplomacy, further solidifying the cultural and educational exchange between Orange Mound and Kisumu. Anthony F. Elmore Sr., whose history with Kenya dates back to 1990, will organize the first African American tour of Kenya, showing Kenya's history, creating a bridge between the two communities and fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation of their shared heritage. This narrative encapsulates the essence of Orange Mound and the Kenyan partnership with a video highlighting the historical significance and culture exchange and future aspirations of this unique partnership.